Hello, and welcome to this demonstration of appointments and scheduling in FlightPath. FlightPath uses a system for scheduling appointments, advising appointments, and other types of appointments like, just general meetings and office hours. Very similar to other products like Calendly or Microsoft Bookings. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how that works. So I'm going to begin by simply logging in. I am logging in as the administrator, but let's just sort of pretend that I'm an advisor or a faculty member with office hours. I'm going to click over here and I'm going to go to my settings. And if I have the right privileges, I should see appointment settings. So at the moment, nothing has been set up. So I'm going to begin by creating appointment types. These are types of appointments that students can sign up for. So I'm going to create a new appointment type. And for example, I'm going to call this an in-person meeting. Yes, it is enabled. Should it create a Zoom meeting, link and things like that? No, we shouldn't because this is in person. And the description is going to be, let's say, this is a face-to-face chat in my office at, 110 Walker, building B. Duration, let's say it's going to be 30 minutes. Buffer between scheduled appointments. So in other words, we don't want students scheduling, our time back to back. So let's say that it's going to be 15 minutes between appointments. This next setting, prevent events less than blank number of hours away. So this is so that a student can't, surprise you by scheduling something, really, early on, just in the next 10 minutes, boom, they have an emergency. So let's say no more than 2 hours away. So in other words, if it's 12 noon, the soonest they'd be able to schedule you would be 2 p.m. And then finally, an additional email message that you want attached whenever the student is notified that they have scheduled the event. For example, it might be, thanks for scheduling this event. Or I should say this appointment. My office is in Walker Building. And I'm going to hit submit. Okay, so it's been saved correctly, and we see that it is now enabled. It's an in-person meeting for 30 minutes. Now you can see here I've already linked my Zoom account. If you haven't linked a Zoom account, then you'll have a button here that allows you to do that. But because I've already linked one, that means I can now also create video meetings, which I'm going to do next. So I'm going to create a new appointment type, and we're going to call this a video chat. It's enabled, and yes, we do want it to automatically generate a Zoom meeting and attach the URL. This can be viewed, or this can be attended through your phone or computer. Since this is shorter, let's say it's only 15 minutes, and the buffer between appointments, let's still keep it at, let's say 15 minutes, and then same thing, let's prevent, less than 2 hours away. We don't necessarily need an additional message to this. The instructions for how to, download the Zoom app if you're on a phone, that sort of thing, it will automatically be attached to any notifications after this appointment is scheduled. And the student will also, both the student and the faculty and staff member, will receive the link, the URL, to click on in order to start the Zoom meeting. So I'm going to hit submit. And now we see that it's been enabled as well. So now that we've created two different appointment types, we also need to think about unavailable times. So these are times that we definitely do not want a student trying to schedule an appointment with us. For example, let's create a new one, an unavailable time. I'm going to refer to this one as, my regular work week. And the days affected, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And I'm going to say we begin accepting appointments at no sooner than 8 a.m. and we stop accepting appointments after, let's say, 4 p.m. And I'm going to hit submit. So now that's been set up. Let's say we want to add a new one as well. We don't want to have students trying to talk to us, I guess, on the weekends. So let's say weekends. So Saturday and Sunday, and we're going to say for here we're going to say none. So no appointments on those days. And then finally, let's put in some time for, let's say, a lunch hour. We just want to make sure that we're not stretching ourselves too thin. So let's say the days affected are Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And I take my lunch from, let's say, 11:45 a.m. to, let's say, just to give us a nice wide berth, let's say 1:30 p.m. That's a nice lunch hour. Okay, so I'm going to hit submit. Now, what this means is that the student is not able to schedule any appointments outside the range that we've defined. Now, we want to do one more thing, and this is totally optional, depends on your institution. But if you have a work calendar or even a personal calendar where you keep up with other events, you don't want the student to be able to schedule overlapping events. So, for example, let's say we have a Google Calendar. So you'll have to read up on the documentation as to how to get the ICS, also known as an iCal feed URL, from Google or Outlook or Zoho or Zimbra or whatever tool you're using. But we're going to say that this is my Google Calendar, and basically all of this information doesn't really matter because we're going to come down to advanced settings, and that's where we can put in a URL to an external calendar feed. Now, I just sort of made up a calendar feed, and I'm going to put one right there. Now, in all reality, this URL is probably going to be very, very long, but it would look something like this, and it may be referred to as an iCal feed, it may be referred to as an ICS feed, or it may simply be referred to as a way of exporting your calendar. But this should be a live URL, not a single file necessarily, but something that is going to get updated automatically. And all of the major services do it. So I'm going to hit submit. And this lets me know that, yes, this is an external calendar, and it's using external calendar, and it's based on my Google Calendar. So even though that was just an example, that just sort of lets you know, if I scheduled a meeting or something like that, or holiday time on my calendar, obviously I wouldn't want students to be able to actually schedule that time. So now let's see what it actually looks like from the student's point of view. I'm going to log out and log back in as a standard student. Okay, so now I am logged in as just a regular student. I'm going to go to my appointments tab right here, and I can see here that I have this sub-tab called schedule appointments. And I can see that I have the only person listed as my advisor. Now, we could also have professors with office hours or what have you, but just for the sake of this demonstration, we just have this one individual. So I'm going to click to select schedule appointment. And I'm going to say this is exactly what the student would see if they're on a mobile phone. It shows a more condensed view. I'm going to say video chat. And now it's showing me all of the dates that are available for me to select from my advisor to schedule an appointment. Notice that none are available on the weekends because we told it that that was an unavailable time. Notice that nothing starts before 8 a.m. because that's an unavailable time. I should also point out one more thing too. We are using the student's time zone is Eastern time, and you may not have caught it, but the faculty member's time zone is Central time. And yes, it does automatically adjust for that for you. So that's why we see that our time that we scheduled for lunch is not available in the Eastern time. So I'm going to select, let's say, 10 a.m. my time. It would be 9 a.m. Faculty members' time. And if I want, I can leave some additional comments. And Then I just hit save. And once I do that, the appointment is automatically added to my calendar. It's also added to the faculty member's calendar. And if you have notifications set up, it will automatically email both parties a .ics file so that it will appear in your personal or work calendar as well. And that's it. That's how you schedule appointments. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.